Good morning, everybody. My name is David Dalney, and on behalf of my wife, Andrea, and Jonas Wazer, who are chairs of this event, we welcome you to our 39th annual Israel Bond Breakfast. I don't know if that's true, but it sounds good. Anyway, this year we have increased our attendance by 30% over last year, which is amazing, and that's due in large part to the honorees that we have selected for this year. Dr. David and Helene Levitsky are well-known, long-time members of the shul, and we honor them, you honor them, and we're very glad that they're here. They have some of their family members came in, and they're here, so we're very glad to have them here. I will speak again, but I just want to begin by inviting our Mora d'Asra, Rabbi Benjamin Yasner, to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Boker Tov, good morning.
Good morning.
I want to echo the sentiments of our high regard for our honorees, David and Helene. Mazel Tov to you. And also, I see that our special guest, Palm Beach County Clerk and Controller, and a very, very good friend of the State of Israel. I think I saw him in the hall. It's an honor to have him, and we thank the Bonds for arranging his participation this morning. In yesterday's parsha, we had a long list of halachas, of Jewish laws. And one of those I want to focus on for a moment or two is our obligation towards others who are in need. And just to limit it for this morning, going to present two options of how a person might be called upon to assist somebody else who's in financial straits. So one is what we call tzedakah, which is giving a gift to the person in need. We don't expect to get it back. We're aware of that. We give something that belongs to ourselves. We give it to somebody who's in need. The second way is giving a loan. My money given to the poor person, and with the understanding it should be repaid. Which would you say is the better form of helping the person in need? The gift or the loan? What do you say? Very good for those who said that. Many people would be tempted to say the gift. It takes off responsibility from the poor person. I'll tell you a teaching from a while back, but not ancient, from Rabbi Shalom Nathanson. Was a very, very respected rabbi, Talmudist, community leader. He also was a very successful businessman. And his in-laws were also successful, so there was a lot of money there. And a poor person came to Rabbi Nathanson, was received into his house, and he told Rabbi Nathanson the difficulties that he's having. And Rabbi Nathanson gave him a very handsome sum of money, but he said to him, "I'm giving you this money as a loan. And I want you to know that if you're not able to pay me back, don't worry about it." So the poor person, he said, "But I am worried about it." And, so why don't you just give me the tzedakah? And he said, like some of our respondees answered the question that I posed. So Rabbi Nathanson told the person that giving a loan is on a higher level than giving an outward donation. So I want my money to be on the higher level, but I don't care. If you don't pay me back, don't worry about it. And of course, the loan maintains more the dignity of the individual, even though it has a financial requirement. So this mini discussion was about individuals, so it's not exactly the same. But this morning we're going to be called upon to make a loan. It's not a gift. It's easier on our pocket. We get something for it. We get a lot of things for it, actually, and we even get the money back. So continued success for a wonderful, wonderful operation, and a special thanks to Mark Rubin, who's been heading such a fantastic campaign for so many, many years. Good morning, and success to all.
All right, at this point, I would like to invite Chazan Michael Schiffer to please come forward, and we will do the Hatikva and the Star Spangled Banner.
Please rise and sing along with Mike. Kodoid balevo penima nefesh Yehudi hoy mia lefazei Mizrach kadima ayin letzion soifia oy loyach tikvasteinu atikva pashnoi sapayim liyoi samchofshi beyartzeinu eretz tziyoi b'Yerushalayim liyoi samchofshi beyartzeinu eretz tziyoi b'Yerushalayim. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Play ball.
How many would four?
Thank you, everybody. Yeah. I'm going to stall for a few minutes until the food gets handed out. Just give me 2 more minutes, and then we'll start again. No, we have.
It's all about the village century. sitting. It's okay. I'm going to be up speaking in a minute, and then I have to run because the Democratic Jewish Caucus, I'm speaking there next, so I'm going to get up and have to.
Where did you live?
Thank you so much. No, I didn't.
It's always good.
Well, I'll try not to be repetitive.
Okay.
What? Here?
And I wanted to say thank you very much.
Save the seats. All right. Good morning again, everybody. Now the fun starts. Our guests of honors are here in the back. I believe that their kids have arrived. Right, David? The kids have arrived, and now the guest of honor family is here, and Joe Abruzzo is here, so we can start in earnest. Number one, please turn your cell phones off and turn your hearing aids on. Or shall I say it the opposite way? Turn your hearing aids on and turn your cell phones off. That's number one. Number two, I realize that it's okay to eat while the speaker is speaking, but if you'd please try to keep the din down to a reasonable level so that you can hear the speaker and you can get all that you need out of the morning program. The first time that I bought an Israel bond was just at the beginning of the October War in 1973. I was 21 years old. So what does a 21-year-old kid know about Israel bonds? Not a whole lot, but I was very pleased to be mentored by people in the shul that I was a member of at that time, and it's been a lifelong effort. And I just wanted to tell you how important it is. 25% of the foreign investment in the economy and the treasury of the state of Israel comes from foreign bond sales. That's a huge amount. And we're here to honor today David and Helene, who've been participating in the Israel Bond program for many years. The extra plus that we have is a man who is here who I consider to be my one and only personal rock star. I'm going to ask all of you, please stand up. Please, it'll take a few seconds, and clap your hands. I want to see everybody up. Everybody. There are some people who are sitting. You're very modest, though.
Thank you.
You're very modest. You may take your seats. Here is a man who was not born a Jew. Who is not Jewish now, but he's the most righteous person I've ever met in my entire life. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Here is a guy who's taken pension funds and other funds from Palm Beach County and has invested on his signature $700 million in Israel bonds. That is awesome. And not only that, he, through his friends, has induced other clerks in other counties. I'm free to announce right now that Miami-Dade County, which is a much larger county than Palm Beach County, has invested $150 million. So we have a ways to go to get them up on a per capita basis to what Palm Beach County does. And I'll add one thing more. I mean, this is just amazing. And he's right here. You can touch him. You can feel him. You can shake his hand. Through the treasurer of the state of Florida, there is a $50 million commitment to buy bonds. $250 million. Man, 5 times the amount. $250 million in Israel bonds. Now, yes, there is interest paid, and that makes sense. On that $700 million, there is many, many millions of dollars that comes back to Palm Beach County, so our taxes can remain as low as they are. So this is really important stuff, and if you're not following the math, see me afterward. I'll be glad to explain it. The other story that I want to relate, and I'll tell you who the person is if you come over to me afterward. But in the 1990s, there was a rabbi mission from L.A. and the one in charge happens to be here this morning as well, and he was able to induce a rabbi to come on that trip who was about 50 years old at the time, had never been to Israel in the past, and said, please come. We really need you to see what's going on. We need you to explain back to your congregants what Israel bond does and what the value of having Israel bonds is to all of us. And this rabbi came, went to Israel, and back in the day, in the 1990s, they didn't have the jet bridge the way they have now. So if you recall landing at Lud, you walk down the flight of steps, the famous steps that we've seen on television a lot in the last couple of years, but these steps coming down to the tarmac, and the first thing that this middle-aged rabbi did was prostrate himself, bend down on the floor, and kiss the ground he was walking on. So in light of everything going on in the world right now, we don't need to take it to that kind of extreme, but he really felt it, and we really feel it. And I think it's incumbent upon us to do whatever we can to help the state of Israel. We can't go and fight, but we can give them a loan. And that's what to those of us who can. Obviously, if you can't, you can't, and I'm sure the government of Israel understands. But if you can, you really must. And with that, I will turn the program over to the Executive Director of South Florida Israel Bonds, Mark. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, David. David said everything I was going to say about Joe Abruzzo and more. I got to work with him, so don't give him such a big head. I just want to say one thing. He got a letter from President Isaac Herzog of Israel recognizing him for what he has done in our community. And I just want to read the first sentence after it says, "Dear Mr. Abruzzo, it gives me great pleasure to relay my gratitude and appreciation to you as controller of Palm Beach County, as Palm Beach County has assumed the title of the largest holder of Israel bonds in the world." Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Joe Abruzzo.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Mark. And first and foremost, to our rabbis, our spiritual leaders. We've needed you now, at least in my lifetime, more than ever over the past few years. Cannot thank you enough for your emotional and spiritual support in good times and in bad. You help keep the community going, so to all the rabbis, thank you so much. Those were some great introductions, and for those who don't know me, and I've met many of you over the past number of years, my name is Joseph Abruzzo. I served once upon a time as this area's state representative, then state senator. Then I was elected your clerk of the circuit court and comptroller almost 5 years ago. And I want to give you a little bit of context and history of how we got to where we are today. When I first got elected in 2020, we were in the midst of lockdown because of COVID. And I went in front of the board of the county commissioners, not even coordinating or meeting with Mark, which of course likely was always a mistake, but it's great. And we were capped at the county for how much. Could you hear me better now? Perfect. For how much we can invest in Israel bonds. We were only allowed, me as the comptroller, 5% investment. So I went in front of the board of the county commissioners and I gave a speech and I pitched them that we need to support our greatest ally in the world, Israel. And they raised the cap to 10% for me. I called up Mark Rubin. I said, Mark, I have great news. We can buy more Israel bonds up to 10%. And he said, Joe, unfortunately, we have coveted bonds all throughout the country. We're sold out. I have nothing to sell you. I said, that's okay. You know, when they become available, count me in, all in. I want to hit the 10%, and I'll go back for more and more and more if they become available. And they weren't available, and I'm going to put politics aside, because of the incredible return. The state of Israel, in the history of Israel bonds, has never missed a payment principal or interest ever, which is incredible, truly incredible. And one more context, as I mentioned, I served as your state legislature. This is the only foreign bond investment that has their specific cutout in state law that we, the government financial officers, can invest the tax dollars in a foreign bond. We can't do that with any other country. So right then and there, it tells you how safe and incredible these investments are. Now catching up to almost current day, unfortunately, it's the call you never want to get. I got a call from Mark on October 8th, the day after October 7th. And he said, Joe, Israel needs money. They're going to be going to war. We need to fund the treasury. And we're going to be reaching out to government partners and those who support Israel for help. They obviously, as you heard from David, the interest rate was really good for taxpayers here in Palm Beach County. But Mark said, I have $25 million coming up. I said, I want them. So we were actually the first in the entire world that invested after October 7th. And then Jimmy Petronis the very next day, our state CFO. And I'll make a long story short. More and more became available and still are available now as the Treasury needs it in Israel. And we've, as you heard, been going in more and more and more. We, of course, I personally have faced some significant protests and issues from what I would describe as terrorist sympathizers, Islamic fundamentalists that do not want to see us prosper here in Palm Beach County or around the world. My response to that is we invested more, and then more again. And we're not going to stop, especially for the taxpayers of Palm Beach County. I want to put something in context. When I took office as your chief financial officer, treasurer of the county, because that's what the comptroller is, our entire investment portfolio, 100% of our investment portfolio was earning $27 million a year. We broke an all-time record in 2023 because of Israeli bonds. I returned to the taxpayers $173 million. I just reported about 10 days ago to the county commission, we just broke that record. $230 million is going back to the taxpayers of Palm Beach County through the county commission. So I currently have 15% of our portfolio invested in Israel bonds. I'm capped at that. But the 15% is earning more than 100% of the portfolio when I first took office. So it's been incredible for the taxpayers, and that is completely putting politics aside. I do want to talk briefly about our national debt and why I think it's extremely important that we diversify here in the county and in our own county treasury. We're approaching $37 trillion in federal debt, and I don't want to be a doom and gloom speech, so I'm going to try to put as much positivity on it as possible, because again, we are doing great here in Palm Beach County. But you look at our federal debt at approaching $37 trillion. Okay, our interest payment on our debt this year for the federal government is going to top $1 trillion interest only. It's the second highest line item in the budget after healthcare. It's more than our defense budget for the first time in history. And it's only going to get worse. What you see with inflation, in my strong opinion, as your chief financial officer, we're going to be seeing this for the rest of our lives because of the way that our debt is. It's going to be peaks and valleys, but gradually ticking up, 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 and up for generations to come. There's no way out in the form of our national debt. And that affects our dollar value, okay? Greatly, greatly. To put it in perspective, and I'll look at America from a business sense, we have a over $7 trillion annual spend from Congress. That's what we're running our country on. We're only making a little more than $5 trillion in tax dollars and other revenue. So we have an over $2 trillion budget shortfall every single year with a $37 trillion credit card bill. Think about that for a minute. So when I look at Israel bonds and I put my financial hat on, I want to diversify. We're earning great interest, and it is so important that we continue upon that path. Now, my CFO hat aside, I've mentioned there could be no greater thing that I can do, that we can do, in my strong opinion, than support the great state of Israel. And I want to talk about how far we've come. In 2018, when I was in the state legislature, I sponsored the resolution to recognize the 70th anniversary of Israel. Okay. How many co-sponsors do you think I had on that resolution, statewide? 5. I would bet my bottom dollar, and I mean this sincerely, that for the next, when it becomes the 80th, 90th, 100th, the legislature they're going to be fighting amongst themselves of who gets to carry it, who gets to be the senator and rep that sponsor it. So when I look at Israel and how much we have made strides in our government, both federal and in the state of Florida, that we're at we're at a reflection point where only the far left, and I'll say it, of my own party, the Palestinian terrorist sympathizers, they're on an island. The rest of the government now, pretty much all the Republicans, the vast majority of Democrats, they go up to Tallahassee and it's Israel. When they go to Congress, it's Israel, except for this, what I would call deranged faction. I'm going to just call it what it is. So I think we've made some incredible roads as far as all the issues that are near and dear to our heart with the state of Israel. We are not going to stop. We're going to keep investing. We're going to keep fighting for the right policy to keep Israel safe. And to the naysayers, I say this, and I know some of you have heard me say this before, but it's completely true. If what happened in Israel on October 7th happened right here in America, where terrorists dug under the streets, paratrooped in, murdered babies, raped our women, I don't care if the president was Democrat or Republican, whatever country did that to America, there will be nothing left of them. Nothing left. We have to eradicate those who want to see Israel wiped off the face of the earth. If anybody saw the news just less than 24 hours ago, one of the premier generals in Iran, sent a warning to President Trump in America that they want just that. He literally used the words, we're going to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. One of my governmental colleagues, the treasurer of Pennsylvania, Republican, she often says, if Iran stops fighting in their proxies, the war ends. If Israel stops fighting, there is no more Israel. We have to keep going. I cannot thank you enough for all the support from the year. I'm here to support you. Anything you ever need in our local government, please reach out to me directly. Easy to find, and of course, Mark has my bat phone number, so you could always talk to Mark. But I'm here for you, and we're going to keep it going. And thank you so much. And by the way, great spread. I love it.
Okay. We didn't, thank you, Joe. We didn't exactly stick to with the order because of when Joe arrived. But can I call the Levitskys up to the podium? Hang on. We're gonna, okay, fine. I'm sorry about that. We are here to welcome Mark Rubin again. Thank you very much. Sorry. We'll get to our honorees, I promise. But can you believe that guy? It's unbelievable. God bless. Because of him and other people in our community, since this terrible war started on October 7th, I admit to you, I took a phone call on the 8th, which we know is Shabbat. But my phone had an emergency ring to it, and I took a call from my president who told me what was going on. And pikuach nefesh, I had to save lives. I felt I had to get money to the government as fast as I could. I called Joe and told him I need 25 million, and that's what I could get, and he said, done. And let me know if you need more. The following Saturday, again on Shabbat, I got a call. I said to my president, why do I keep getting calls from you on Shabbat? He said, because it's not Shabbat at the Ministry of Finance in Israel anymore, so we have to do it, so you'll forgive me. He said, we need more. I said, how much? He said, do you think you could get 100? I also, by the way, did call Jimmy Petronas, our state treasurer, and he did buy 25 million. Joe was my first call. Jimmy was my second. The following Saturday, I called Joe, and I said, I need 100 more, and he said, done. And then I called Jimmy Petronas, and he said, how much? He picks up the phone, he said, how much do you need? These guys are unbelievable. I said, I need 120. Done. So I sold 145 million in the 8 days to the state treasury, and I got a call from the New York office on Monday at work. They said we needed 500 million. We made an error in adding, and we wound up we're 35 million short. Do you think you can get it? I called Joe. I said, Joe, I need another 35. He said, done. So I got 160 million dollars from our county, and I got 145 million from the state of Florida Treasury. But this is my 35th breakfast here at Torah Ohr. In May, God willing, I'll finish my 35th year of service to Israel and Israel bonds in the community. And thank you. This has been my anchor. Every year we haven't missed, except during the COVID, but we haven't missed any other years. So since October 7th, we have sold from our office and our community, and because of our connections to the Miami-Dade County Controller, and Joe's going to help me with every county controller throughout the state, our community has generated $1 billion, that's a billion with a B, $100 million since the war started. So thank you for making that possible. Now I have the chutzpah to ask for these things because of you. Because you know that every level of investment of Israel bonds is counted. They know, our enemies know, our friends know, how many people are participating in the Israel bonds program. Who is buying? How many people are buying? So whether it's $36 online or $100 in our office or more, we need you. We ask with humility and respect at any level that every person here should invest in an Israel bond. If it isn't for you, for your children, for your grandchildren, if you have money in an IRA, we'll work with you. We know that sometimes with banks there's some issues, but I'm working with, if you can believe it, an evangelical bank in Tulsa, Oklahoma to try and fix that. They may be willing to accept anybody's IRA for Israel bonds. I'm working on it. We will continue to carry out the mission that I am given by Israel, and that is to raise as much investment capital for Israel. We are 25% of the foreign borrowing that Israel is doing during the war. We're going to need a ton of money for reconstruction because the whole north, as you know, has been decimated from rockets and Hezbollah bombing empty cities, and you know we only have so many Iron Dome bombs to protect. So I ask you, please don't leave here today without making a commitment. Everybody has one of these pledge cards. Put your name and your phone number, what you're interested in. If you want to buy it for grandchildren or something, put on the back that you want to buy it for kids or grandkids or great-grandkids. And we will follow up with you, everybody. So please allow me to continue to do what I do with your backing, and I'll continue to do what I can do with everybody else. So thank you for your kind attention. I love you all. I do. Thank you so much. And thank David for this great work that he did to make this great brunch today.
Okay. All right, now we're at the main event. So David and Helene, please come forward along with whoever from your party is going to join you. And I believe you have selected your kids to give you the honor. So we're waiting for you. We're right here. Thank you all.
Gathering so much more from Israel.
Good morning, everyone. It's a privilege to stand here today to honor my parents who devoted their lives to building and strengthening their community in Israel. This week, we will read Parshat Teruma, where Hashem commands Bnei Israel to bring donations, Teruma, to build the Mishkan, the dwelling place for the divine presence. But what's striking is that the donations were not merely materials like gold, silver, or fine fabrics. The Torah says, "Vayikhu li teruma me'et kol ish asher yibenu libo." Let them take for me a donation from every person whose heart moves them. The Mishkan wasn't just built with wealth. It was built with generosity of heart, with a willingness to give, and with a deep commitment to the community. That is exactly how my parents lived their lives. Their teruma has not just been limited to financial contributions, but has been given through their time, their kindness, and their dedication to others. Whether organizing minyanim, making Havdalah a truly beautiful experience, ensuring those in need receive tzedakah, or checking in on the sick, my parents embody what it means to be a sacred space, not of wood and gold, but of chesed, love, and connection. The Israel Bonds Breakfast honors those who strengthen Israel and the Jewish people, and I can't think of anyone more deserving. My parents have spent their lives building not just structures, but kahilot, communities, filled with warmth and purpose. Their actions mirror the spirit of Parshat Teruma, teaching us that when we give with a full heart, we bring Hashem's presence into this world. May Hashem bless them with continued strength to keep inspiring others, and may we all learn from their example to give not just from our resources, but from our hearts. Mazel tov.
Noah. All right. Let's get everybody in. Wonderful. Smile, everybody. Here we go. I'll make sure I get you the copies.
Before I start, I'm going to just say an unprepared remark. Wow. Just, we were surprised to be asked, and we're touched. Not necessarily in order. Elaine, my wife. It's too low. Elaine, my wife. Doctors Juliana and Elon Rosenblatt, children and grandchildren Noah, Ben, and Maya. Rabbi Mrs. Gasker, Joseph Abruzzo who left, but Noah, our featured speaker. Friends from Plainview, friends from West Hampton, friends from our all associations in Century Village, everywhere. We thank you for this honor. I just want to read something to you. Most everyone here has been to Israel. Please compare my images with your own images. Think of the soaring towers of the cities of Jerusalem, the farms, the greenery, everything in your mind. But here's what I want to read to you. Mark Twain went to Israel 150 years ago, approximately 1875. Here's what he wrote. Most of the country is a silent, mournful expanse dotted with nasty villages, miserable huts, and the usual assemblage of squalid humanity. Desolate, unlovely, disfigured wretches, fringed in dirty rags, filthy rags, naked and sore-eyed children in all stages of mutilation and decay. The Ottoman Empire ruled Palestine from 1516 to 1918, except for a brief 9-year period. That was just under 400 years. Between 1831 and 1840 was that brief period. We all know the stories that Israel inherited in 1948. The land of swamp, nothing fertile, mosquitoes, desert. And then comes 1948, and how we fought the Arab world. And then we hear the story shortly after of how to become a millionaire in Israel. Start with $5 million. It was tough, and then it happened. Many do not know. Israel almost went bankrupt at that time. What happened? 1951, Israel bonds, not negating sales throughout the world, started to be sold in the United States. You all saved the country. It was the USA. All because of you people. Everyone here in the audience, your friends, your relatives, and the cities, states, and counties all around us, obviously Palm Beach County, Florida, New York, Massachusetts, Michigan, Ohio, we all came together for a 3,000-year-old dream. God has put special people in their places to buy the bonds to help Israel. These people realize who our allies are, and all who realize what Israel has done. So we thank you all for what you have all done, all of you. Helene and I, once again, thank you for this special honor.
If anybody has a camera phone, please take a picture. Thank you, Avi. And there's just one other thing that I want to say. If I could just have the award for one second here. You were speaking about the Israel bond sales in 1951. This is a replica, front and back. The first recipient of this award was Dr. Albert Einstein. So from one doctor to a second doctor, here's what and your kids are doctors, so here's the story. This is a wonderful award. Please hang it up in whichever home you want to hang it up in. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
This is the end of the program, but please feel free to stay, talk among your friends, finish eating, and thank you all for being here. And thank all the people. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Please excuse me. The wonderful volunteers, Susie Strauss, Shoshana Kimmel, and Nina and Steve Levine. Thank you all, and hopefully I didn't leave anybody out. If I did, I apologize. Thank you all. And Fred Hadley, who took pictures of all of this and videos, and Rabbi Yazger will now bench. Okay.
Benching in a moment. Rabotai Nevadeh, Yehi Sheva Nan Rachne Tavi Adolam Yeshut Ma'anan Rabbanan Rabotai Nevadeh Eloheinu Shechad Mishalom Baruch Eloheinu Shechad Mishalom Tavo Chayinu Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Hazan et Olam Kolo B'Tova B'Chen B'Ches V'Rachanim ונותן לחם לכל בשר כי לעולם חסדו ובטובה הגדול תמיד לא חסר לנו ויחסר לנו מזון לעולם ועד בעבור שמו הגדול כולל זנו פנס להכל ומקיב להכל ומכין מזון לכל בריאותיו אשר ברא ברוך אתה אדוני הזן את הכל נודה לך, אדוני אלוהינו אשר נפלת בביתנו, ארץ נתנו לקרובה, ואשר הוצאתנו, אדוני אלוהינו מארץ מצרים, ופתיתנו ידי עבדים, ועל בריתך שחתמת בשרנו, ועל תורתך שלמדתנו, ועל חוקך אשר נתנו, ועל חיים מחן וחסד אשר נתנו, ועל אכילת מזון שאתה עזרנו, מפרנס אותנו תמיד בכל יום, ובכל עת ובכל שעה. ועל הכל, אדוני אלוהינו, אנחנו מודים לך, מברכים אותך, יתברך שלום חופדי כל חי, תמיד לעולם ועד, קדשת ואכלת, ושבעת וברכת, את אדוני אלוהיך על הארץ, הטוב אשר נתן לך, ברוך אתה אדוני על הארץ והמזון. רחם נא אדוני אלוהינו ישראל עמך, ועל ישמעו עיניך, ועל ציון משמר כבודך, ועל מלכות בית דוד משיחך, ועל בית הגדול והקדוש, שנקרא שמך עליו, אלוהינו אבינו, ראינו זורננו, פרנסנו וחלקנו, ברכנו והבטח לנו, אדוני אלוהינו מהרה מכל צרותינו, והנה אתה צריכנו, אדוני אלוהינו, לידי מנח עבדם, אלא לידי הלוואתם, כי אם לידך המלא עבדוך, הקדוש והקרב, השלום לי, ושלום יקרן, בעולם ועד. ובני ירושלים הקודש מהרה בימינו, ברוך אתה אדוני בונה ורחמיו ירושלים, אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם ואלוהינו מלכנו אדוננו ואלוהינו יוצרנו ונשי קדוש הכל רואינו את ישראל המלך הטוב כי לבוא שבכל יום ויום hu eitiv umeitiv u'yeitiv lanu, u'lanu, u'lanu, u'lanu lad, l'chein u'l'cheser u'rachavim u'revachat zalam v'yatzlacha l'bracha v'yeshua, nechama pansa v'chalkala, v'rachamim v'chayim v'shalom v'choto, v'yikotu v'lam al yichasveinu, harachamanu v'med, harachamanu v'shman ha'aretz, harachamanu הרחמן חסן וכבוד, הרחמן ישבור עלינו הצווארנו, ויוליכנו ויליצנו, הרחמן שלח לנו ברכה מרובה בבית הזה, ועל שולחן זה שכנו עליו. הרחמן הוא ישלח לנו את אליהו הנביא זכורתו, ויבשר לנו בשורות טובות, ישועות ונחמות, הרחמן הוא וכל המסובים כאן, אותם וכל שלהם, אותם וכל שלנו, כמו שנברכו אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, וכל מכל כל, כן יברך אותנו כולנו יחד, בברכה שלמה ונאמר אמן. ואמרם נלמדו עליהם ועלינו, זכו שתהיה משמרת שלום, ונישא ברחמי אדוני, וצדקה במשינו, ונמצא חן בסתר בנינו בידם. הרחמן הוא יזכנו במשיח, הבא. מגיע ישועות מקום, ויוסף חסד ומשיכות, לדוד וזרעו עד עולם, עושה שלום בברמה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, וכל ישראל יאמרו אמן. יראות אדוני קדושה, תהיה מצור לרע, כי משהו ברעהו, קדוש אדוני לא יחזו בטוב. הודו אדוני כי טוב, כי לעולמך טוב, ותהיה את ידיך, ומספיק על כל הרצון. ברוך הגבר אשר יפתח אדוני, והיה אדוני לפתחו, ראיתי גם סקרתי ולא ראיתי צדיק נעזב, וזרם לבקש לכם, אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. Mazel tov again to our honorees, shkayach to our chair people and committee, and to all participating. Shenishma b'sorot tovot.
Sure?